What are we collecting data for? Are we collecting data to justify the funding? Are we collating the data because it's a study of us? Are we being studied?
Hi and welcome to today's roundtable event. Today we're bringing community leaders who work in mental health together for vital conversations which we hope will not only provide education and awareness of mental health within the community, but will also go towards advocating for systems change. We really hope you like it.
Many reports show that Black-led charities face systemic funding challenges, forcing them to work harder to survive. The question is, how can businesses partner with charities to build sustainable collaborations, embed the social impact into daily operations, and support them with skills, resources, and employee engagement, and not just donations? I think this is one of the biggest ones in terms of, if you look historically, charities are expected to only be asking for money all the time, which money then gets used and then it finishes, and then it creates a cycle. In terms of businesses working in a different ways, not just donations, my belief is any business that has a structure within itself can also look into what sort of resources do we have, what sort of skill sets do we have within our organization that this charity that we're supporting can actually benefit from. So whether it's the accounts, whether it's the management, whether it's the administration, so things like that. When then the businesses look at things like, okay, we can have our employees volunteer and come and help you, whether it's the setup of a different project that you're running, so that charities can become very efficient in how they are running their businesses. Not that they're not already efficient, but I think it will aid more value rather than just money. When I was reading this, it was just reminding me of that quote where they says, give a man a fish, as in compared to a fishing rod. So this in essence will be them actually coming and say, here's the fishing rod, this is how we use it, so that we can become much more self-sustainable amongst ourselves and not keep on having to go and ask. And the reason why we have to work harder is, again, I think we have been privileged, in terms of some of the work that, Daniel has brought into BMM, like our impact report. It's not everyone who's able to do those things, but out of need, we had to do those things. And coming from there now, we can actually, again, everything is linking up today. The data that we have pulled out, we can then challenge certain things. We can then go on and show, whether it's funders or big grants, to say, this is what we've done. But again, when businesses come in and then they support us with that, it then helps us to focus the money to go where it needs to go, rather than for us to have a budget. Okay, can we afford to do this? And this is why I think when we went to the parliament last time, there was a question about, other organizations thinking that the charity work is not of high quality, but our quality get compromised because we have limited funds that we have to try and see where can we put it into. If we then move it from what is considered to be the charitable causes, then there's a lot of questions and all these things. But then if the businesses come in and then they support us with this, then that really, really helps, to ensure that we do not compromise on the quality, of whether the assessments that we're doing or the support that we're giving, to ensure that we deliver high quality care and support ethically as well.
Can I come in on this? I think there's a lot of things that society doesn't understand about the charitable sector. You pointed out some that we give different quality, that we're all there with our hands out waiting for a donation. The charitable sector of the 21st century are actual businesses Most of them run very efficiently on much more limited resources than any other organization. I think it's about how we speak about our work. Without charities, this country would fall apart tomorrow. If we all stop doing what we're doing, a lot of us actually provide vital, crucial services in our respective areas, whether that be actual physical area or in our businesses, like your organization does. I think we need to get away from this, you're giving us a donation, because in my business, that's the smallest part. If I was waiting for people to give us a donation, we wouldn't have an organization. I have to be multi-skilled, I have to go out, make relationships, know where bids are, know what is needed, understand the people I am serving, understand the area I am operating in. A charity leader now is probably better than some of the leaders of proper businesses that make much more money than us. That's what we need to speak up in our sector, so that people realize they're not making a donation, they're actually investing in their communities or in issues that affect their families, their people. And until we do that, we will always be looked on as this kind of part of society that goes out and begs for people. I don't beg for donations, they're the smallest part. I work very hard to bring in the money, build a reputation, and make sure that people know we can deliver the services that we say. And I know I sit amongst people that do the exact same thing. We need to speak up more for ourselves as charities about the crucial work that we do, that without us this country would be broken.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
What Lynette
Sorry,
said.
I just had to jump in because God.
I feel exactly the same. And you know, I founded a community interest company 15 years ago, which is still going strong, right? And when I talk about BMM UK and I use the words business, people go, but it's a charity. So no, it's a business. Its operating model is charitable. And you know, they go non-profit. No, we are more than profit. We need profit. You need money coming in order to do the work that you need to do. But to Darlington's point earlier about delivering impact reporting, because that's what the sector requires that you do in order to prove your worth, and you doing all of these words that we do, and making sure you have robust monitoring and evaluation frameworks to be able to. So when you're talking like this to business, they go, oh, okay, suddenly it's not going to have some money. You're talking about the output. This is not just us doing this work and expecting handouts. We have deliverables. So when we're talking to you about the effect or the impact of the work we're doing, we are not messing about. And I think, you know, when the question that Darlington has is, which is about, you know, corporates working with charities, they need to understand that you are working in partnership. You are not delivering charity, right? You're working in partnership for a greater societal good. And you know, we don't, as our organisation, we don't have a wall. So when volunteers come out, we've had them before, right? We'd like to send our volunteers out to paint, you know, if you've got a wall, I ain't got a wall. I haven't got a wall, but what we do have is the need for some, some communication strategy. So can you give us some time, you know, pro bono work? So it's about thinking about how organisations can further develop the relationships with charities so that we can collectively do the work that it is that we need to do as a society. And I'd just like to end on that. Stop calling us out when it's Black History Month, Mental Health Awareness Month, and all of the others. In fact, no, I'm not going to say stop. What I am going to say is alongside. Yes. All right? Because we make money during those months, and it pains me to say it. We do make money from it, and I'm grateful for that. But we say the same thing every year, you know, contact us throughout Black History Month and after and prior. And they go, yeah, you know, we'll do better next year. And because of whatever reasons they're not, and I have to keep saying thank you for that cash, right? But it's about working with us throughout the year collaboratively for a societal greater good.
It's like that. I like the point you mentioned about the organisations and the sectors working alongside each other to find where you can, you know, evaluations, IT, social media, all of the things that the corporate world may have that can benefit the sector without just saying, okay, I need a cash injection. Because sometimes in some respects that may prove more beneficial than than a fund. Yeah.
Which then just goes sometimes, depending upon how big your budget's requirements are, that budget comes in or that donation is rather than somebody that comes in and says, I'm going to give you 2 days or half a day or even 1 day a week of comms specialism. Yeah. Sitting side by side, helping you develop and do the work, that is a hell of a lot more beneficial sometimes than that 10 grand or that 5 grand donation that they'll give. There's longevity around that.
I can film all your marketing, advertising.
Absolutely.
I can do all your IT support in terms of reporting.
Yeah, all of that.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes for the business to actually have genuine interest, wanting to understand and know what the charity does, that way, coming like exactly what you're saying, sitting down and seeing how you operate, how you do your things can actually open up their eyes to, oh, I didn't realize this. Maybe they can learn 1 or 2 things from us as well.
Absolutely.
So it's an exchange, that will be happening there as well.
I was just going to say, I think longevity in those partnerships with corporate organisations or any organisation is understanding the real life impact, that ultimately this isn't, we love, come paint the wall 100%, we'll take your 10K, we need it. But ultimately it's also those organisations and corporate organisations realising that this is about people. Yes. It is centred around saving lives, around supporting people have a better life. And I think for us, we are grateful for everyone that will come and do the volunteering in any capacity and give a donation in any capacity. It's needed, and it's needed for life-saving work. And I think that is the communication, that in order for all, corporate relationships to work and hopefully have longevity, is that the people are at the centre of it and filling a gap is at the centre of it. And that message being the central message is the most important thing. We need you to understand why what you want to do is helpful and why we need you to stay alongside us, because it's about people.